Hey, no sound. Hey, how's it going? Check, check on the sound. No sound, Barry.
Welcome, welcome.
All right, we can hear you now. We can hear. I was
Okay,
trying to
now,
get a hold of you.
now let's start the show. Yes, yes. Welcome back to another edition of Go Long Live with Barry Long 2 and Sage Alvarez. I am Barry Long the second. Don't forget the two. I'm not the first. I'm not the third. I am the second. Sage, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great today, Barry. How's it going, man? I know you're excited today. You got to go on the appearance today on the Rob Peterson show.
Yeah, it was a great experience to be able to go and join Rod Peterson live on the Rod Peterson show up in Canada and in America. Had a couple people that were watching reach out to me and say some that they saw it. So shout out to them. Uh, and it was great, man. I was a little sweaty, but the spotlight was on me. But it was great, man. It was a good chance to go out there on TV and give my analysis about Major League Baseball and the wild card we got coming up. My voice is a little bit hoarse because I've had a lot of speaking engagements this past weekend. So bear with me. I'm drinking my tea, and hopefully by tomorrow my voice will be back to normal. So man, how was your weekend?
Oh man, it was really good, man. I got to see some great football this weekend, college wise and NFL wise. It was really entertaining, man. And you know what I'm saying? Just got to hang out with some friends and got to chill with my dogs.
Absolutely, man. Chill with your dog. You got chihuahuas, huh?
Yeah, I do. You probably heard them a couple times. Yeah, they've been
well,
good for the
shout to
most
them.
part.
Yeah, they want to be on the show. They want to be on the show. It is what it is. All right, so we thank everybody for tuning in. We are live on CoachellaValley.com, today's California.com, as well as today's Canada.com. We are live all over Twitter. If you don't mind, please go and like and subscribe to Coachella Valley page, the Twitter page. Follow it and share the show that we are doing live right here. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Now, we would have Mo Murphy on today for Mo Murphy Mondays, but we couldn't get a hold of him today. Hopefully, he'll maybe come on tomorrow if he has a chance. So we'll make it Mo Murphy Tuesdays. But yeah, today we're going to talk Major League Baseball, the wild card. We've definitely got to talk about the NFL and some of the wild games that we saw yesterday. Some great finishes, an overtime or two finish. We saw a great game for the Sunday night football game between the Patriots and the Buccaneers. And we're going to also dive deep into Urban freaking Meyer. The head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars was caught at a bar, and there were some pictures that were taken of him that weren't so favorable. So we're going to talk about that here shortly. If you want to hit us up, you can comment live on the show. I know that Facebook is down right now, Sage.
Yep. Facebook is currently down. Instagram's down. It's trending on Twitter because Twitter's the only one working right now. So everyone's flocking to the app right now.
Well, shout out to Twitter. Always still keeping it moving. I'm not sure why all the social media is down at one point, but Twitter keeps on chugging along. All right, so let's just go right into it, man. We saw Urban Meyer this past weekend, and in the press conference after the game on Thursday, and he was like it was like his dog died. He was devastated. He used the word devastating and disappointing, and it didn't kind of look like the type of response that you want from your head coach when you're 0-4. And everybody that's up in Duval County or down in Duval County that are Jacksonville Jaguars fans, it's been a rough past year and a half. The rough past 2 years. They've lost 19 straight dating back to last year. Started off 0-4 this season. And Urban Meyer goes out after the game, doesn't fly back with the team. He goes out after the game and he goes to a bar. And he was photographed in this picture right here. And this wasn't the worst one, but that's definitely Urban Meyer. Like Urban, we know what you look like. And if it's cut off in this picture, but on the left side of his chest, there's an Ohio State University emblem right there. So he is definitely Urban Meyer, and he's out at the bar, a married man with kids, out at the bar, hanging out with young women. These look like college women. And there was another picture that surfaced of him with his hands, what appears to be up her bottom. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it, but Urban Meyer, it's a really bad look for a head coach, and for somebody who is 0-4 and is facing a lot of criticism from a lot of people, and who may lose his job, anyway, because based off the way that they're performing, I don't think it's looking good for Urban Meyer, and I don't say he passed
No,
the
it's
bye
not.
What do you say?
It's definitely not looking good for Urban Meyer. He says he put himself in the wrong position. I would say, what position would it be to be around, a young female like that, college age? Just a terrible look for a guy that usually is a role model to a lot of these kids, and always advises them to be on their best behavior. But this is surely a distraction. Surely it's not good for his time in Jacksonville, because I mean, unless they start winning really fast, they might have to move on very quickly after the season.
Absolutely. And, we're talking about the progression of Trevor Lawrence and all the stuff that they have, all the problems that they've had on defense. Trevor Lawrence has been a bright spot from time to time. But, if they don't start winning right now and they don't go like on a winning streak, 6 games at least, I don't see Urban Meyer staying around as the head coach. And I just have one question. What is this young lady doing? What is she doing with a guy who clearly looks like he could be her father? She clearly is either in her 20s, young 20s, like mid-20s. She looks like a college girl.
Barry, how old are you, man?
I'm 35, bro.
Come on, bro. Act like you've been around, bro.
I'm just saying, what is she? I mean,
we all know.
I'm sure he picked up the bill.
What's said doesn't need, what's understood doesn't need to be said.
Yeah, I'm sure he picked up the bill. I'm sure he paid for all her drinks. I'm sure he took care of her. I don't know what happened at the end of the night, but all I know is it's just not a good look for Urban Meyer.
And it's definitely not a good look. It's not. It's like if you're a player going out with with a married chick. You know, so if you're a player and you already know that you're married, why you out with another chick? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's not a
absolutely.
good look. But
Yeah, and Urban Meyer came out and he apologized to the franchise. He just had a press conference just a little while ago, and he said he's deeply sorry for the viral party images. And
I'm sure he is.
and he said, I just apologize to the team and the staff for being a distraction. It was stupid. I explained everything that happened and I owned it. And just stupid. Should not have had myself in that kind of situation. So at least he's owning up to it. It's going to be an interesting time when he goes back into Jaguars practice because those NFL players are going to give him a hard time.
He's got people telling him what to say. I mean, at this point, he knows he's basically the guy always telling his players what to do in these type of situations.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised when he comes out with this, all the emotion. It's like, bro, like I don't buy it. It's fake. You gotta do what you gotta do, bro. But we know like you were enjoying the moment. Like stop it.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see. Well, we don't know where his hands were, but we know that they were in a place that they should have been. All right. So Urban Meyer, we called it last week. That said that he might get fired before the end of the season. I think now it's kind of a consensus. And I have a bold take. Well, first of all, he was clearly drunk in that picture. That's not Urban Meyer. That's Bourbon Meyer. All right. And second of all, I feel like he's kind of trying to get fired on purpose. And I feel like maybe this guy is thinking that this is an easy way out. And the USC job is up for grabs. So that's a really high profile job in college. And his mentality is already college. He's a very successful college coach. Things aren't working out in the NFL. So maybe he's trying to get an easy way out and hurry up and go get the USC job. But I also think that because of his success that he had at the University of Florida, I think that maybe the Florida State job is going to come open this year too. Mike Norvell's not getting the job done. And it
Who
seems
wants
like
that job, man? I know you been bring that up, but like, who really wants Florida State, bro? I don't want Florida State because first of all, you're not in the right conference, and then second, you have to go against Florida, and you got all the California schools, Texas, like.
You're right. It is the ACC, but the
Alabama.
It is the ACC, but the ACC is easier to win now than the SEC.
It's not good. Everyone wants strength of schedule, and it's showing because when the super conference get aligned, like Florida State might not, they'll be in a good position, but is it really a marquee job anymore? Really, it really wasn't to begin with. They just had a legendary coach, and Jimbo saw money, so he chose money at A&M. So once that happened, like they should have forked over more money, and that's what happens when people get confused in college sports. It's about money. It's about connections. It's about being able to recruit kids at a high level consistently. Like that's why when you see Clemson have a down year, they got some top 5 classes coming up, so they're going to be their talent wise, they're going to be fine.
And one thing we've seen about Urban Meyer is he certainly does know how to recruit. He had at one time Tim Tebow and Cam Newton on the same roster, so he's been around the block. And I honestly think that Florida State is a higher profile job, and you're giving it credit. So
I think it's what it was in the past, man. And sometimes things in the past they stay in the past. They don't move to the future. And I don't see Florida State being innovative right now because after Winston, what have they done?
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But that's my bold prediction. And we are live on today'scalifornia.com. We are also live on today'scanada.com. We are live on CoachellaValley.com, all over Twitter. Shout out to Sage getting us hooked up with the Twitterverse. Now, and Twitter is the only one up right now. Facebook is down. Instagram is down. So
it's trending.
It's trending. So more than likely, you guys are watching us on a replay. We thank you for tuning in. You can still comment, and we will comment back on the replay because we do replay the show every day or every night. So let's talk about some of this NFL action that we saw yesterday. It was an exciting Sunday for me. I want to just go over quickly. We don't have time to go over all the games, but the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Dallas Cowboys came out and defeated the Carolina Panthers 36-28. But my biggest takeaway from this game, Sage, is the fact that this offense is rolling. This offense looks like maybe one of the best offenses in the NFL, probably top 5. In my opinion, they might be the best offense in the NFL ever right now, the way that they're rolling. The defense is stepping up. I like what Dan Quinn's been able to do with the play calling. This kid, Trayvon Diggs, we talked about him last week, saying that he might be one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I
Yep,
think because he had his first 3 games, he had 3 interceptions in consecutive games. But
it's pretty
he
good.
he had 2 interceptions yesterday, so he now leads the league in interceptions. This kid is exciting, explosive on defense, and he's taking a lot of them to the house too. So I think that he might be the defensive player of the year candidate, and definitely is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. What are your takeaways from that Dallas and Carolina game?
I mean, for one, I on the Carolina side, because I know there's a lot positive about Dallas. To be honest, they looked
Mhm.
amazing, but DJ Moore looked really great, and I do see them. They need CMC, but it was nice to see when things because CMC is the heart and soul of that team. If you don't have your guy, like they're still looking for an identity. So I was glad to see DJ Moore step up. Even got a touchdown playing running back. Had just ran a route and was able to get that TD. So you look at it from the Dallas side, they're just gonna keep being impressive. We thought we were gonna see this team last year. Just Dak wasn't there, so it's nice to be able to finally see this top five engine offense the Cowboys have right now, and it looks sustainable for the future.
It really does. It really does. And Dak is playing amazing football right now. I mean, you got 2 running backs that can do equally just as much in Pollard and Zeke, CD Lamb. I mean, these guys they got weapons all over the place. It is exciting to watch. Amari Cooper making a great catch. I mean, yesterday it looked like there was no way he was going to stay in bounds and make that catch. One of his catches that he had yesterday, but just amazing, amazing Dallas Cowboys offense. And yeah, I think that the Carolina Panthers still have a lot to be optimistic about because they started off 3-0. Yeah, they lost yesterday, but they're not in the best division. The Saints, we don't know what we're getting from the Saints from week in and week out. I mean, they're with Tampa Bay, but they definitely look like they could be a wild card team this year. But when they get CMC back, like you said, look out for Carolina
Yep.
Panthers. All right. So also we had some games that we all also wanted to go over. One of the games that stuck out to me was Buffalo, Houston. Now Houston is going to have their struggles this year. We know
Some
that's
struggles or a lot of struggles.
a lot of struggles this year. I definitely look at them as maybe potentially getting the number 1 overall draft pick next year. Um,
Hmm.
but we know what they are, and they're a year or two away from even being competitive. But Buffalo right now, Buffalo started off. Of course, they dropped the game number 1 to the Steelers, and everybody was getting upset about Josh Allen. I even came out Monday and I was over emotional, saying I don't know if Josh Allen's going to live up to that big contract that he got. But what they've done now the last 3 weeks, they haven't just won; they've been beating the brakes off of people, and them winning 40-0 yesterday. This is their second shutout that they pitched this season already, and we're only in week 4. That has not been done since the 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense. Okay, so this defense may end up being legendary. And when you look at what Leslie Frazier is able to do on the defensive side of the ball by putting guys in the positions to be successful, I mean, this team is rolling right now. And look out, I think that this team has potentially one of the best teams in the league. I think they're going to, I think I picked them earlier to maybe go to the Super Bowl, at least the NFC Championship. Now they're starting to play like that.
I mean, what's not to like about Buffalo right now? Josh Allen, impressive performance, but I don't want to dig too deep into this type of game to get hype. I need to. I expect them to shut a team out like this with just there's nothing to look forward to being a Texan, and the fact that you giving up all those picks to get an offensive lineman who now who's great offensive lineman. Don't get me wrong, but it's just when you take away those first round picks, you take away a huge like salary. Like those are important pieces to have because they're cheap contracts essentially for great players if you hit on the right ones. So I mean, it's gonna be a minute for the Texans. I don't see them getting away from this. Honestly, they're just not good right now. I don't see when are they going to be good? Even with Watson, if they came back,
Yeah,
they wouldn't have been good this year.
yeah. I saw somebody had a tweet that said even with Joe Montana, that team would not be good. And, and It's terrible. I mean, Tyrod Taylor's going to come back, and Tyrod Taylor's going to be the quarterback.
And did you
Shout
hear
out to
the
David
story
Mills.
in the story that Robert Kraft is his book is coming out, and
Yeah,
supposedly Bill O'Brien was sabotaging his way to get out of the Texans to go
there's
to New England, and then ends up getting more control. So he's like, "Ah, I guess I'll take the more power, you know."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's football purgatory at this point, and I feel bad for anybody in Houston. And J.J. Watt wanted out, Jadeveon Clowney wanted out. There's been a lot of players that wanted to get the hell out of Houston, and now Deshaun Watson wants to leave. And of course, DeAndre Hopkins got blessed to go over and be on a Cardinals team, because the Cardinals are looking great right now too. And that's the next game we're going to jump right into, the Cardinals and Rams. And we both, you and I both we both picked the Rams. We were both high on the Rams, and I think that the Arizona Cardinals kind of flew
Well,
under the
I
radar.
picked the Cardinals.
Oh, you picked the Cardinals. Okay, I
No,
picked the Rams.
don't bring me. I'm not
All
losing that one. Not me. Like I picked the
right.
Cardinals. I
Okay.
brought up my story about that too.
Okay. Oh yeah,
You
yeah, you did. You did pick
come
the Cardinals. Oh, I apologize for
come
that.
on, yeah. Don't
All
bring
right.
me on the L with you,
So
bro.
you got that. You got that. You got that win, and I was high on the Rams.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
love the Rams, and I love what they do. I love what Sean McVay's been able to do. I love what the defense has been doing this season. But they ran into a buzzsaw in the Arizona Cardinals, and this is an explosive offense. I mean, do not get it twisted. Kyler Murray is the truth.
He is. He's really
And
good.
he's really, really good. And they've got some weapons on that offensive side of the ball. The defense is stepping up, making plays when it counts. And I think that it's time that we start taking these Cardinals serious. They're the last undefeated team in the NFC, and they don't really have too tough of a schedule coming up. So I think this team is the truth. And yeah, you were right. You picked them.
I mean, they got really great weapons. AJ Green
AJ Green.
having a really great start to the year when a lot of people thought he wasn't, even though I thought he was going to come out with a great year. I believe that they just had a lot of options. Like maybe not like I didn't think it was great as fantasy option like going into this offseason, but now it's like whoever got him, you got to steal.
Absolutely, and I mean, in running back, they're figuring that out. They got Chase Edmonds. James Conner's a guy who struggled in Pittsburgh, and a lot of people kind of threw him away. But he actually is making a difference and being that kind of change of pace second back that they need out of that backfield. He ran for 50 yards. But yeah, Chase Edmonds looks really good. But when you got Kyler Murray who can get out on that edge, I mean, you never know what's going to happen with this offense. So Cliff Kingsbury has a lot to play with, and AJ Green. I mean, we thought that he might be done potentially. Well, a lot of people did because of the knee injuries and the kind of way that it ended in Cincinnati. But he is looking really good too, man. Him and DeAndre Hopkins is a 1-2 punch. Look out, everybody! This team is rolling, and it'd be great to see. The fans in Phoenix. They had the Suns made it to the finals. Maybe Arizona
Four.
Cardinals. Yeah, it's
Sons
Suns
of
in
four.
four. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals can make it to the finals and or to the Super Bowl. And these fans out in Phoenix are it's a good time to be a Phoenix fan. It really is. It really is. We also had other games that were very exciting. We had a game that was on Sunday night. It was the Buccaneers versus the Patriots. And this was a game that a lot was building up to, and it came to a climax. It ended up being a great game. Mac Jones really stepped up at certain times and made some really big throws. And there was some great play calling on both sides from the Buccaneers and Byron Leftwich and from Josh McDaniels. I thought that there was a one touchdown where it was a play action and the dude was wide open and Mac Jones hit him, but it was just the play design and just the fact that they sold out on the run. But yeah, it was a very close game, 19-17. The Patriots had a chance to kick the field goal to win the game. Ended up missing it, and the Buccaneers snuck out of there with a win. And we got to see Tom Brady and Bill Belichick embrace after the game, and supposedly they talked for 15 minutes, and it was a positive conversation. And a lot has been made about their relationship between the two of them. But yeah, I was impressed with both sides of the ball. The defense on both teams. A lot of it has been said about the Buccaneers defense and how they've been struggling. I thought they stepped up in key moments. But yeah, it was a great game. How did you feel about watching that game?
I mean, I heard there's a lot of noise on Twitter saying if Cam was in this game, would they have won? And my thinking is they would have been a better team. I've always said they've always been a better team with Cam. So they're taking their hits, their lumps, the ups and downs with Mac. They look great, and then the Patriot fans love Mac. The perception I get is that they think he's a guy, and I think he's a really great player. I would have preferred them to go the Cam route this year to let him just keep developing. But if you want to unleash some guys early, you can. Because when you look at Justin Fields, was like not this week, but the previous weeks. What if he gets hurt during that time? You know what I mean? Now you go to the third string guy. But the argument is when they look good, everything goes good. But when something goes bad, now we're going to think logically how we should have done things. And unless you're really a top 3 quarterback, who has no choice but to play, give your quarterback some time. And Mac Jones did it okay.
Mac Jones.
He looked good at times, and he just didn't look good in the red zone. But
they got some stuff they got to clean up in the red zone. They did score one time from the red zone, but they've got some stuff to clean up. But I think that both defensive coordinators they threw the book at him, literally threw the playbook at him, and there was some really good play calling on both sides. But yeah, you're right, Mac Jones. I would have liked him to sit behind Cam one more year, but he certainly looks like he's mature enough to handle these type of moments. And think about it. I mean, that big aura of Tom Brady coming back to town, you feel the pressure that you've got to be, just as good as Tom Brady. And he realizes that he doesn't have to be Tom Brady this year.
Oh, he's not going to be Tom Brady.
Yeah, and he's not going to be Tom Brady ever in his life.
The odds are just not with you, bro.
But yeah, but it was a good game. It was a really good game for Sunday night. Seems like NBC always gets these good games and with these storylines on Sunday nights. That's kind of why I love the NFL, for storylines like that. Now we also had some other games that we're in. I want to really talk about this one because the Pittsburgh Steelers have been up and down this season, and there's been a lot of criticism with Ben Roethlisberger the last couple seasons about whether or not he can sustain a whole season playing at a high level. He might have a good game here or there, but there's times where he's completely inaccurate. There's times where he's underthrowing receivers more than he should. You clearly see that there's been a regression in his arm strength. Then there's times where he's overdoing it and he overthrows guys. But he just seems to not have it figured out. And Mike Tomlin looks frustrated on the sidelines. They lost 27-17, but the game felt like it wasn't that close. And Pittsburgh is struggling right now. Their defense has been their best side of the football the last couple seasons. They're giving up a lot of running yards. They're giving up a lot of passes, big plays. So I just feel like the Steelers, after winning the first game and losing 3 straight, I feel like they're not the team that everybody wanted them to be. And at the beginning of the season, a lot of people thought maybe they make the playoffs. It doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs to me. What about you, Sage?
I'm just not sure. I'm not confident with that. Why do you think they're going to make it?
Well, I thought that they would make it because of the defense, and I thought that they had weapons in Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster. I thought that they brought a lot to the table, but what I'm seeing from Ben Roethlisberger right now, I'm not convinced, and I honestly think that it's time for Ben Roethlisberger to retire. And the only option behind him right now,
I thought that was pretty clear at the end of last season, but money wasn't going to let him walk away with this, and Pittsburgh had to deal with it. And I set him back a year because they could have probably went after a QB this draft and would have been more aggressive. They're trying to give Big Ben one more year. Shouldn't have done that.
Just because he was able to win them 2 Super Bowls and they feel obligated to him. But yeah, I think it's time for him to go. And Dwayne Haskins. Now we know what type of talent Dwayne Haskins has, but he doesn't. He didn't have it up here mentally. So I don't know if he's the answer. But he's better. He better step up because he's gonna have a chance to be their starter next year. And they're gonna go out and definitely draft somebody. But man, Big Ben looks terrible. And Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. Never had it. So this might be his first losing season. And I think the Steelers are done.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible. All right, so one last thing we want to talk about real quick is the Major League playoffs. We got the wild cards games coming up tomorrow. Of course, we know the Yankees and the Red Sox will be dueling off. That's a two-story franchises. They went out and got Garrett Cole for a game like this. The Yankees did. They've got a great lineup. The Red Sox, they've got a great lineup too. They're gonna come out and they're gonna be firing on all cylinders. It'll be interesting to see which team can pull it off and advance to the division
Who
round. But I'm excited.
who do you have? Who do you have winning?
Right now, I've got the Yankees winning this. The Yankees struggled with the Red Sox earlier on in the season. I believe they went 10. I believe the Red Sox won 10 games. The Yankees won 9. But I think that Garrett Cole pitches a fantastic game, and I think that the Yankees pull this off.
Well, I'm going Red Sox just to go against you,
All
Barry.
right, and then for our Dodgers, real quick, our Dodgers are in the wild card, probably the best wild card team in the history of Major League Baseball. It'll be interesting to see what they're able to do up against the St. Louis Cardinals, who've been hotter than fish grease, 17 wins in a row to be exact, which is a record for them. But yeah, we won 106 games. We're throwing out our best pitcher right now, Max Scherzer, and they're going to have their best pitcher, Adam Wainwright. I think the Dodgers will win this despite the injury to Max Muncy. I just think that we have what it takes and we have the depth. So I like the Dodgers. Who do you like?
I gotta go Dodgers too. They're
Gotta
not
go
gonna
Dodgers.
lose.
Gotta go
I gotta
Dodgers.
lose.
All right, and real quick, we will break down the games. The game tonight, the Monday night game, your Raiders versus the LA Chargers should be a fun one. It's a big rivalry. Should be
It is.
a lot of big hits, a lot of energy in that building, in that stadium. So, who do you got and why?
I got the Raiders. They're the better team. It's
Yeah,
they got the right now. As much as everyone loves Herbert, Derek Carr is going to be playing at an even higher level with this offense, the way it's running. And I do like Herbert. I think they're going to do some work on it. But I think the Raiders defense has been stepping up. So this is going to be a real good test for the Raiders defense to see if they can get some sauce over another great offense. Because I do like the Chargers offense as well.
absolutely. The offense of the Chargers has been rolling. They were able to beat the Chiefs, but I agree with you. I'm picking the Raiders. As much as I want to disagree, the Raiders are just playing at a high level. Derek Carr leading the league in passing. Should be a fun one tonight. Real quick, before we go, tell them where they can find you at Sage.
You can find me at Twitter at SageDup, or you can find me at Instagram at Sage_up, or you can find me at Facebook, Sage Alvarez. You got me as a friend.
All right, and I'm at Barry Long 2, Barry Long space II on Facebook, and at Radio Barry Long on Twitter. Remember, stay focused, stay motivated, stay inspired. Remember, you're capable of doing anything. Enjoy the games tonight. Hopefully, my voice will be better tomorrow. I'll drink my tea. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.